everybody. I hope you enjoyed the last mystery, Tragedy in Transit.
Well done. Very well done.
What do you mean? You did it.
You made it.
But you solved it. Well
it
done.
was designed to be solved.
Very well done.
Oh, thank you.
I hope everybody enjoyed it. I'm not sure when the next one will be, and I think the next one ideally will still be an adaptation and then back into the next one.
I am scouring the Christies to see if I can find a good one.
I could spoil what my current idea for the next title is, for the one I'm halfway through writing.
Oh, wow. You wouldn't tell me the title until we were halfway through Tragedy in Transit.
I think this one's more fun.
Okay.
To give the title in advance.
All right.
People can start
guessing. And it
guessing.
might not stay. Like you
Tell you what.
have half written a mystery and then scrunched it up and thrown it out.
Oh,
before.
it might not stay, but I'll tell you what, people, if you want to get in now with your guesses as to who done it, who knows?
It's the Ringmaster.
Um,
we know it's the Ringmaster.
The working title for the next one, because we need them to be what's the
Alphabet.
word? But what's the word for when you use alliterative?
Oh yeah.
The working title is The Warring Widows.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Case of the Warring Widows. Everyone looking forward to that?
Mm.
I hope you are. I think I'll write. I'm liking it so far. I haven't yet hit a wall on it. But I've only recently been getting back into properly working.
It sounds very different to what we've done in any of the previous ones.
I think so.
I'm excited.
Let's hope. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's not what this is. What this is a bonus because, Danny, we were talking about the fact that often we swap off between mysteries and adaptations. You read an Agatha Christie for the possibility that it could be a good adaptation, and you decided no.
Yeah, 3 days ago, I read this one in one day, and at the beginning, I went, great, this is very promising. Everything about this feels good. I could adapt this. And then I, at the end of the day, closed the book, and I said to you, no, they ruined it.
Yes, you definitely had to. So you wanted to basically, like we did with the clocks, talk about why it wouldn't work for the show maybe, or why you didn't like it as a mystery.
Yeah, and it's very easy to explain this. So I will say, go and read this one. This is Agatha Christie's After the Funeral. But much like the clocks, I'm going to complain about it rather than run it as a full murder mystery. I do not think it was as ridiculous as the clocks.
Sure. I mean, the clocks was pretty weird.
It was not based around utter stupidity of the detective in the same way, but it had a problem. And the big problem that I have found with this one, the impression that I got, well, first of all, one technical problem that I had with this book, there were a few times reading through it where I would read a sentence and then I would go, wait, did that sentence, hold on, was this sentence too 1950s for me and there's something I don't understand about the structure? But the more that kept happening, the more I eventually, and I definitely got some confirmation later on in the book, noticed this was not the best typed or scanned copy of a book.
Which is so annoying.
There were some straight up mistakes. The one that made it very clear was a bit where it said, like, she was going around here and these instead of here and there.
Yeah.
And
which to me means that, like, someone just scanned some other copy and went, done. It's ready now. Obviously, they could have just missed. Maybe it had so many errors in the scan, and these were the leftovers they didn't catch. But I complained about this at the time as well. I always rile up against this because traditional publishing is always such a weird thing where you only read books because of the words that are written in them. It's the only reason you would ever care about a book is the content of the words written. But the person who writes those words gets so little, so tiny a percentage of the amount of money that the book makes. Because publishers are like, oh, we're the only people, we've got the editors, we've got the publishers, we can get the books made, we can print it, we can ship. We do so much that we deserve all this money. And then it's like, you didn't even
do it right,
you
please.
didn't even like get the words right.
Yeah.
It's
very irritating. And this isn't like some cheap copy or anything that I found on the street.
No, these are the ones that
these are the real official copies
at a proper bookstore. These are we've had that before with some sci-fi books where
looks like I bought this in 2010.
I remember we had that with a series of some sci-fi novels that were published that referred to various space stations, and because the stations all had names, they capitalized the S in station. Makes perfect sense. Except for the fact that they clearly did a find and replace. So you would get to words where it would say like
infestation.
Yeah, infestation with a big capital S in the middle. Protestation with a big capital S in the middle.
Embarrassing.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Work harder, guys. But yeah, that was the technical mistake. And that was a bit annoying. It would take me out of it every now and again.
But it's not a commentary on the story of After the Funeral.
Regarding the story, I have often heard people say, and people say this all the time, that the way Agatha Christie would write her mysteries is she would start writing, go on the premise, and then towards the end, that's when she would decide who the criminal was. And then she would go back and slot in clues to make that work. Now, I don't know how Agatha Christie actually wrote her stories, but in general, I haven't ever gotten that impression of her work. Until this one. This one felt like the murderer was picked out of a hat, and only the clues relating to that person ended up being mentioned at the end, and anything else that might have been sus or odd or curious just died in the middle of the book.
It's a little bit reminds me of when you complain about certain, like, at-home murder mystery evening games, right? It's like, it's a murder mystery evening for 8 to 14 players. And as soon as you see that, you think, all right, so it's bad.
Yep. If it has a variable number of players, it is not a controlled, properly written mystery.
Because it's clearly got a bunch of information that either doesn't matter or it's just arbitrarily picking who.
We have played one that literally was the murderer is completely random, and so that you can play over and over again. But they're pitching it like a murder mystery dinner.
Yeah, but it's like if it's random, you're probably not going to work it out. Or if you do, it's going to be irrelevant. It's going to be like if it is completely random and they make it work by putting in particular clues, then you know that the mystery isn't going to be interesting because it's just going to be based on, I found 4 pieces of evidence, so therefore that person did it, rather than like, anybody could have done it. Wait, no, these people couldn't have done it because that's not how they would do it, or that's not the type of, I realized their motive wasn't real, or, they could never, I thought they were going to do it, and then there was a twist where they did. Yeah. None of that can be present if there's a variable killer because it'll just be, we shuffled it up, then we put 4 clues about that person, only 1 clue about anybody else. So 4 clues trumps 1, it's them, they did it.
Now, not only that, this one includes just some cliches of the genre and of writing in general that are kind of outrageous that they're there in such full force. It's got someone is on a phone and is about to reveal a very important detail, but then someone apparently clobbers them on the head from behind so they can't get out the last important words. It's got the characters just happen to have a conversation about something totally irrelevant, but oh my god, that makes one of the characters remember that thing that she saw.
Which is so un-Poirot-ish. It's not really what Poirot's
barely in this one.
At its best, the format of Poirot works really well because usually it is, here's everything. Here's all the info out on the table. And Poirot goes, oh man, let me think about this. And then we sort of have things happen. Maybe there's a little bit of new information, but usually new information is going to recolor the old information.
Yeah.
At its worst, it is just, and another clue popped up, which I think is like how a lot of like Sherlock Holmes sometimes when it was at its worst would work. It was just, he just continues on, then he finds a new clue, and that new clue is going to solve the case. Oh, no, it's going to get into the next clue, and that next clue is going to get into the next clue, and that one's going to solve the case, and he solved the case right at the end because he found that big clue. And how did he solve it? He probably wrote a treatise about it, so he just knows.
This one is very much, Poirot gets told to come into the case. Poirot comes in, you see him chat to a character, and then he just knows everything and sits back and says, yep, I know.
Yeah,
until the ending happens.
It's not as nice.
It was very disappointing. I will note, this one in the order of Poirot books is written between one that I quite like and one that I quite dislike. But in general, I feel like, looking at a lot of the ones around here, like, Taken at the Flood, I don't think I minded. Mrs. McGinty's Dead, I did not like. Then this one, After the Funeral. Then Hickory Dickory Dock, I did like. Dead Man's Folly, medium. Cat Among the Pigeons, I do not like. It's very mixed bag sort of time. We are towards the end.
Yeah, they're towards the end. Like, even this, what you said, was in the 50s. So it's 30 years into writing these books. It's been 3 decades of writing Poirot.
That's why there's not much Poirot in here. She is very much over him.
Well, wasn't that a thing that she wasn't? Eventually she was like, please stop making me write Poirot.
Well,
I've written him too much.
Assuming that the author, Mrs. Oliver character that she includes is self-insert, then yes, she freaking hates him.
And I think, because Curtin is good. Curtin is lovely. Was Curtin written like 10 years in and then just had to keep kicking it down the road to be like, all right, eventually I'll be able to do Curtin?
Who can say? But you know what? No matter how hateful you are, maybe you can always put together a good finale. But yeah, so I'm not sure what is wrong with this one. If you had told me that this was a ghost-written one,
you might believe it.
I might believe that.
And I get it. It's hard. Like, how long have we been doing Solve This Murder? And really, that's half the time each, because I only started writing them partway through.
Mm.
Already, it's hard to be like, oh, what's the next? Like already, the last one I wrote, I had to, before Tragedy in Transit, and even at the start of Tragedy in Transit, I think if you listened to the autopsy, which you would have last week, I feel like I said in that one the amount to which I was writing it wait, I've already done this, scrapped it, threw it out, and I've written like, how many of these have I done?
I don't know, half a dozen?
5 or 6, and already I'm just like, oh, so it gets hard.
For big, intricate, complex murders, it can be challenging.
Yeah.
There was a different book that I was considering as one for us to go through as an adaptation, but I have specifically said, we might be able to do this one, but it's a lot like Five Little Pigs. It would have to be like a really direct sequel. But shall we get into this?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about after the funeral.
First of all, you commented right before we started taping that there is an image on the front of this.
Yes, there's an image of 2 lilies, but it doesn't look like it's printed very well. Is it meant to be blood dripped on the lilies? Because it is white.
I'm going to say no, based on some sorts of things, but I'm going to say, let's just remember that, and you can tell me. I assume that the clocks...
Was there a scene where someone drips white paint on some lilies?
I assume that the clocks had a picture of a clock on the front.
Let me have a look.
Five Little Pigs has a champagne glass on the front, or a beer glass, very relevant. Yeah, that's a clock gear.
It's just a gear.
Let's find out the relevance of these weird splashy flowers. So this one starts in a not particularly interesting and not particularly creative, in my opinion, way. It is a very, 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 very old butler going around dusting, cleaning, preparing the house for people to arrive. He has been there for 1,000,000 years, but as he goes through, he's just sort of reminiscing and thinking so that we learn who all of the characters are in very much almost a stock listing sort of way. It is not particularly natural. It's just lots of names are thrown at you immediately.
Yes. Okay, that's
He even does things like goes, he shook his head. Why is he dawdling thinking about the past when he's got to go back to working? And just like annoying little writing things that people do sometimes.
Okay, sure.
It bothered me. We also start with a family tree. This family, you can take a look at it.
It's a pretty small family tree.
You say that, but there's a lot of names on it. And I wanted to say that everyone who was slightly bolded is still alive, but I don't think that's true either.
Those designated in bold were present at the funeral of Richard Abernethy.
Right.
They're the Abernethys.
Yeah, not Nathy.
Abernethy. Cornelius Abernethy and Coralie Bassington.
They are long dead.
Had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children. Richard Mortimer? No, wait. What's up with Richard Mortimer?
Richard, and then who had a son called Mortimer. With whom, I am not sure.
No, this doesn't specify Richard's partner. And also he's got D in brackets? Is he dead?
He's the funeral. After the funeral, he is the funeral.
Oh, I see. Richard Abernethy. Okay, his son's dead.
His son is dead.
Okay, so probably wasn't at the funeral.
Correct.
So why did it say that
I'm not sure.
Funeral? They're in bold.
This is where I said I think that they were meant to be alive, but...
Leo, dead, but Helen, his wife, is
Yes, this is correct. Lots of this family is dead. There were lots of names.
Laura, dead. Rex Crossfield, dead, but their son, George, bold.
He was there, yes.
I just don't know why Mortimer, who's dead, is bold. He probably wasn't at the funeral. Timothy and Maud, where Timothy is alive, but didn't turn up, whereas Maud did turn up.
Correct.
Gordon and Pamela Johns, both dead. Susan Gregory Banks.
Susan and her husband, Gregory Banks. It does look like it says Susan Gregory Banks.
Her name is Susan Gregory. Susan and Gregory Banks, they both turned up. Geraldine, dead. Anthony Carlson, dead. But their child Rosamond and her husband Michael Shane? Michael Shane did turn up to the funeral. Cora turned up to the funeral, the youngest daughter of the Abernethy family. But her dead husband, Pierre Lansquenet, didn't turn up.
Great. So you're going to remember all these names, right? Of course. Awesome. So in general, yes, this is exactly what happens. Blah, blah, blah. Big fancy family house where some of them grew up. Lots of dead. We find out, Richard is the one who has died. He was the eldest brother. He was dying, but they thought that he had a couple of years left. All things considered, it was a little bit sudden.
Sure.
But it seemed perfectly natural. His son Mortimer, we find out, has indeed been dead for... Richard hasn't really recovered since his son died about a year and a half ago.
Sure.
Of infantile paralysis.
Oh, no.
He wasn't an infant. He was in his 20s.
Oh, then that wasn't infantile paralysis.
That's just what you called polio.
Oh.
Apparently.
Okay, weird.
They've called it infantile paralysis all the way through.
Even though he's an adult.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
With no mother.
A motherless adult.
I really have no idea who Mortimer's parent is.
Doesn't have one.
It really, apparently, somehow never comes up.
How funny.
For a book that is all about a family tree and inheritance, you'd think that would have mattered to at least get a mention. Not once.
Yeah.
It's weird. I'm not sure where this Mortimer sprang from.
I had a little bit of these family troubles reading the Unknown Ajax, the Georgette Heyer novel. I know it's Heyer, but it's Heyer. Where it did start with a family, and it was just a lot of like, and this uncle is going to here, and this person thinks this person, and just like mentioning so many people in the first chapter, and just going, hopefully I'll get these by the end. And I did. Got them eventually, but yeah, a lot of
If you're
just
really
like,
unlucky with historical fiction, they'll also give 3 of them identical names because that's historically accurate.
True.
It just makes you hate them.
Michael the Younger, Michael, and Michael.
So in general, I'll tell you a little bit about these characters. So I've told you about Richard. The family got rich off corn plasters.
They got their son Richard off corn plasters? They got rich off corn plasters?
I think that my understanding of this was that Coralie Bassington might have been an inheritor of a corn plasters.
What is corn
magnate.
plaster?
They seem to talk about feet a lot, so I wonder if it is plasters that you put on corns of your feet.
Okay, like bandages for corns.
I haven't Googled it. I thought it would be more fun
Makes
if
sense.
I didn't.
Band-aids for corns would be corn plasters.
So yeah, they became rich corn plaster families, and that's how they afforded this big old mansion, and Richard inherited a crap ton of money as the eldest son when the father died.
But then he died.
Well, he has only just died recently, like right now.
This is the funeral that we're all being after.
Exactly. So the second brother was Leo. He died some time ago. His wife is still around. They call her Mrs. Leo a lot. Her name is Helen. She is she's a lady. Everyone sort of likes her.
Would you let me to start calling you Mrs. Bill?
Ugh. Everyone likes Mrs. Leo.
Fans of the show, if you could start referring to Dani only as Mrs. Bill, it'd be very funny.
This is very upsetting.
It'll be really bad.
Few things upset me.
We'll both hate it, but
to
it'll
that
be great.
Extent. Then the third sibling was Laura, who apparently married a slightly dodgy figure in this Rex Crossfield, and they had a son, George, who was the only one living in that area. Apparently, Laura made crap investments with her money.
Oh, with her corn plaster money?
Yeah, exactly. So George is a lawyer, but potentially a shifty one. People think that he's a bit of a reprobate.
Okay, bad lawyer. Mm-hmm. So who's alive so far?
Just George.
He's the first living person.
This is correct.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry, Helen. Mrs. Leo was alive as well.
Mrs. Leo.
Everyone likes her.
Okay, great.
Next to Cross, we had Timothy. Timothy is still alive, but he did not attend the funeral because he is an invalid of some type. However, of some type is right because nobody actually believes there's anything wrong with him.
Oh, he's pretending to...
They think that he's just a hypochondriac.
Okay.
And unfortunately, he has a wife who is a super caretaker wife. They never had any kids, so she's like full on gone into caretaker mode for him, everyone says. So she is just completely bought into it and looks after him nonstop, even though he's kind of a grump.
Okay, fair enough.
Then we had another son, Gordon, who died in the war, I think.
Okay, sure.
And I guess his wife died of grief. Doesn't matter what happened to her, apparently, but she's dead too. And they had a daughter, Susan, who is...
Susan Gregory.
She is quite sharp. People think that she was kind of the good one, the smart one, the one that Richard liked the most. But nobody liked the man that she chose to marry.
Gregory.
This seemed to be a pattern of the women in the family.
They married poorly.
Susan married Gregory. It's not even that he's a reprobate, it's that he works behind the counter of a pharmacy.
Oh, so he's not cool enough?
Yes.
None of you people did anything.
They absolutely think it's weird.
You're all living off family money. You don't do anything.
Mm-hmm. But I think marrying a shop boy was a very peculiar thing.
You're worse than a shop boy. You're nothing.
Next came Geraldine, another daughter who married someone. We don't find out any information about them, but their daughter Rosamond is an actor, and she married Michael, another actor. Michael
Does everyone hate them for being actors?
Richard doesn't think much of stage people.
Fair.
But no, they're not hated. The thing is, Michael, pretty good at what he does, very ambitious. He wants to make productions happen. He's very good looking and very aware of it. Rosamond, very pretty, loves acting, kind of sucks at it.
Oh,
she is aware of this.
Oh, that's even sadder. Poor Rosamond. That would have been a fun character in Solve This Murder.
And then finally...
Soft, what light through yonder window breaks? Wait, why would I be doing that part? I'm Rosamond. Romeo.
Rosalind.
Romeo.
Also not a part. Anyway. I thought you were trying to make her the character Rosalind from
Oh, no, I was
Romeo
thinking her name was Rosamond.
Yeah, cool. And so then we have all the way at the end, and you might notice this one looks like a little bit of an afterthought on the family tree.
Yes, super young baby.
Cora, yes, she was the surprise oops baby when the mother was almost 50.
Wow.
And in my head, she is Gail from Bob's Burgers.
Okay, that's fair. Weird cat lady.
She is incredibly 1950s autistic coded.
Sure.
That's pretty much all there is to her character. She married Pierre, who is an artist, a so-called artist. Everyone thinks that he was crap. He was also apparently a bad, potentially abusive husband.
Oh, okay, that's worse.
He died.
Danny, list of bad traits: abusive husband, probably worse trait than bad artist.
He died 12 or 13 years into their marriage.
Okay, good.
No kids.
No, that's too far into the marriage for an abusive person to have to die. Get him out early.
But so all of this takes place when she is now about 49 years old herself.
Oh, okay.
All the siblings quite a bit older. So Richard, none of them are crazy old. I want to say Richard was only 68.
Okay. Wow, he had his son late in life.
As far as I can tell.
Or was it like he hasn't been the same since the son died?
No, his son died about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
It might have been in his the son might have been in his late 20s. Okay. I'm not sure. He got a lot done. That son. He was most distinctly an adult. But yeah, so that's what I've got. So very few of these families actually continued to a next generation.
Yes.
And what was happening was Richard was dying. We find out that he was dying. And he was trying to figure out this massive family fortune. Where should it go?
A fair setup for a murder mystery.
Because
there's clear motive, and then maybe you could undercut it by having a secret non-money motive, and that's a fun bit.
Realistically, Timothy, the invalid brother, or the hypochondriac brother, is the next male in the line, sort of. So he's under the impression that he would be getting everything.
Then go to the funeral. No, I believe he's a real invalid.
Richard is seemingly... what we will find out as things uncover, was not convinced that he was a good choice. He went around meeting with various members of the family just to sort of find out, hey, do I like you? Do I think you'd be a good choice for this? Mm-hmm. So, for example, nephew George, who was a son...
unscrupulous lawyer?
Exactly, but a son of one of the older siblings.
Sure.
Met up with him and seemingly decided, ooh, not this guy. Went around to some of the others, was chatting with them, and wasn't really convinced by the actors... and all of that. And in the end...
they could do so much with the money. They could put on so many shows. They could own a theatre.
In the end, Susan was absolutely the one that he liked best. They had by far the most in common. She was ambitious in the right way. She was clever. But man, he didn't like her husband, and she's a woman, so can't do that either. So instead, he largely partitioned it out.
Sure.
In ways that surprised everyone.
Okay.
But so, yeah, some people got a little bit more than others. All of the nieces and nephews got a share, Timothy got a share, and then a small other part was set aside as a yearly stipend for his sister and his sister-in-law, Cora and Helen, Mrs. Leo.
Sure.
And those were, just a few £1,000s per year. Still. But everyone else may have been getting hundreds of thousands of pounds in their shares. Timothy was still not happy about this. He thought that he should have gotten everything.
Oh, shut up. I hate what's up with people and inheritance? It's I got a huge amount, but I wanted everything. It's well, then no one else would have anything. Yeah, I want everyone else to have nothing.
I will add two stipulations to this. One, death taxes, inheritance taxes, massive deal at this time.
Oh, that's fair.
So a lot of them are saying that they're not actually going to come away with all that much. They still would have, but And 2, this is only a few years post-war. Everyone in this story got screwed over hard by war.
Oh, that's fair.
A lot of them are in very bad places. But what happens is all of the family that turned up to the funeral, they come, they get to this will reading, because it all happened quite quickly, I guess, in this small town. Cora, who is the Gael-coded one, has come out, and she was basically saying, "Oh, did he leave me anything?"
That's how she speaks?
"Oh, he left me stuff." Yeah, I can't do a Gael, but Megan Mullally. How do you do a Megan Mullally?
Oh, I'm sure people can. It's a very imitatable voice, but not one that I can imitate.
No, not at all. Certainly not while trying to also do it with an English accent.
No.
It's not a thing that can happen, so I'll just stop trying. But eventually...
No, try again!
Eventually, what she comes out with it says, "Oh, well, it's all been hushed up nicely, hasn't it?" And everyone goes, "What?" She says, "Well, he was murdered, wasn't he?"
What?
Yeah, based on what he said, no, oh my God. And then everyone just starts going, "What the hell, Cora?"
Based on what he said, and then you don't say what he said?
And so everyone just starts yelling at her, and she says, no, sorry, forget it, I must have misinterpreted, I'm sorry. And then the next day...
She's murdered?
She is murdered with a hatchet in her home.
Ooh, okay, this is fun. This is a good setup. I
loved
can see
it.
why at the start you thought this was going to be great.
Absolutely. It seemed wonderful.
That's great. She clearly knew something. She didn't say it. Then she got killed before she could say it. I mean, a classic murder mystery setup. Very much like, why didn't she just finish her sentence beforehand? Would have been nice. Mm-hmm. But, okay, that's fine. If we accept that, then great. That's a cool little double murder, potentially single murder, but fun.
Yep. I will say right at the start, when Cora...
Possibly even. Okay, here's what a fun version. No murder of the first guy, but person who's like, I should have inherited anything, goes, well, look, in this current version, if he was murdered and it looks like a murder, it would be to get this current version of events. Maybe if I just murder Cora, then people will say, you know what, the will doesn't stand. We'll go back to basic default law, which is that this guy gets it all. An
absolutely valid thing to think.
That's a fun version of a mystery.
My hackles were right up when reading this, that she does not use any names in what she says. She says, he was murdered, wasn't he? Based on what he said. And everyone just automatically assumes that she's talking about Richard.
But it's actually the son or the father.
And I was very much thinking, who else could this be?
It wasn't infantile paralysis. It was adult stabbing.
And this was where I commented to you offhandedly, one of the big things that makes detective stories easier is not that the detectives know what to ask, but it's they know what not to lean into, what not to ask too early.
They know the facts to not realise. Yes. Like to go, well, she never actually said Richard, did she? She said he twice. Maybe it was the father, maybe it was the son.
Now, let's not overthink any of this.
Yeah.
Because it turns out that that's not anything.
Oh, it's not relevant at all?
Nope, that's nothing.
Ah, well, dang. That's all right.
Which outraged me, quite frankly.
That's like when a body has its face smashed in, and it's like, no, it's just a guy with his face smashed in.
Yeah,
which I think is a good thing to do more often. Just to be like, no, why would you assume it's not? Just because someone has their face smashed, it doesn't mean they're someone else.
Yeah. So what we end up seeing with this crime scene, Cora has been murdered the next day. She has a live-in companion woman, whether they are in any sort of relationship. Of course, it's never specified. But apparently this woman was sent out by Cora to get some books from the library. And when she came back, the kitchen window had been smashed in. And she went upstairs, saw Cora's room covered in blood. And then they found out some of her stuff had been ransacked, some little pieces of jewelry and things had been stolen. She didn't have much, but it was stolen. And when police came to investigate, they found that all that jewelry had just been shoved into a bush outside.
Ah, so it was meant to make it look like a break-in axe murder, but it was just a regular axe murder.
Exactly.
And the break-in was staged.
Where the hatchet has gone, no one knows. They
probably took it with them when they left.
Yeah, one can only assume. It never gets questioned. No one searches for a murder weapon in this one.
Who needs them?
All right, so from there, that's really about all we have to go on. And then it's just figuring out alibis. Turns out everybody is lying, or if not lying, telling the truth that happens to lead them in such a way where they could totally have gone to her village where she lived and murdered her with nobody noticing.
Yeah, where were you? I live an hour away from her village and she died at 8 p.m. Mm-hmm. Well, I was busy from 1 p.m. till 6 p.m. And then I was busy again from 10 p.m. onwards.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
sure.
All sorts of things like that. It's just people, like, one of the couples, the actors, say, oh, yeah, we were having a meeting with blah, 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 blah. And then I was having a meeting with blah, 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 trying to get our stage show going. They're very happy to have money because now they can put on a stage show that Michael has wanted to put on for a long time.
It'll be great.
And yeah, then it turns out, they were both lying about their locations because he's actually been cheating on her with some other actress.
Oh, I don't like this guy anymore. Don't put on a stage show.
And meanwhile, she ends up saying, no, you're right. I wasn't where I said I was. I was in Regent Park just going for a walk. And then it turns out, no, that was actually bizarrely true, but Regent Park is right near Harley Street where all the doctors are because she's pregnant. And that will come out 10 seconds before the end and does not, it's
sure. It's
character,
always like,
but irrelevant.
All these people had all these lies. Don't worry, here are all the non-murder explanations for this lie, that lie, this lie, that lie, but not the real murderer.
And not particularly exciting.
And it's all coming out so late that it's almost, it doesn't feel real.
Yeah, it was reasonably guessable as well.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. There's lots of subplots that I just do not particularly find interesting. We get things, for instance, some evidence and some dude that shows up. So, let's go with this subplot. Remember how Cora had married an artist who kind of sucked?
Yep.
She loved art.
Sure.
She was not particularly good at knowing what was good and what was bad. So one of her hobbies was just to go around and buy random art for like £1, if that, off the streets, just in the hopes that she'd strike it big one day.
Yeah.
So she had some friend, and a character who shows up for one chapter midway through the book just knocks on the door and says, hi, is Cora here? Oh my God, I heard she's dead. Sorry, actually, I heard she's dead. Sorry, just come to pay my respects. None of you know who I am, but I'm this art dealer friend that she has.
Sure.
And I come around like once a year to look at her art and see if she's got anything good.
Okay.
And so he does that, and he does just sort of shrug and look at the stuff and say, no, you know what, maybe it's a good thing all of this sucked. So that she
what
didn't,
if it
like,
doesn't
just
suck?
miss out.
What if she had she'd picked up a $1 Rembrandt and he killed her to take it?
So he leaves. We never see him again. But suddenly, Susan, who has been visiting, because Cora left all of her meager possessions to Susan for whatever reason.
Okay.
People think it was because the family didn't approve of her marriage, and they didn't approve of Cora's marriage.
Yeah, so they had like a bad marriage.
Even though they'd basically never met each other.
Yeah.
That was a thing. So Susan is there, and Ms. Gilchrist, the female companion who lives there, they are alone in the house together when they suddenly realize, oh, what's this? There's a package just by the door that we didn't notice. It's a piece of wedding cake. And I guess married couples sending pieces of a wedding cake to their guests must have been some sort of tradition.
I think that's a thing. It takes, like, after a while?
Yeah, I'm not sure. But
Not sure.
Ms. Gilchrist says, all right, who does it say it's from? John and Mary. I don't really remember who they are. I know a lot of Johns and a lot of Marys. Oh, well, whatever. You want some cake? Susan says no, so Ms. Gilchrist eats the cake.
And dies?
Well,
of
she
poison?
does not die, but she does get arsenic poisoning.
How
she
many
recovers.
people want to kill her? Everybody wants to kill this lady.
People.
Because this is at Cora's house, right?
This is at Cora's
the house of the woman who was killed.
Yes, so people
there's a second murder
suggested
attempt.
Cora knew something about Richard's death and therefore probably told the woman that she lived with. So it's just creating a kill chain.
Oh, I see.
To make sure that whatever knowledge is there does not get passed
this
on.
knowledge better be pretty worthwhile.
One thing that also comes up, because now they're trying to figure out who left this cake. Not only did Mr. Art Dealer come by, Susan, of course, was there.
Sure.
And some nuns came by earlier in the day.
Evil, evil nuns.
You know what? Apparently, several chapters later, we'll find out that some nuns also came collecting at Richard's big old mansion, like right before he died.
Evil nuns.
And then, so Miss Gilchrist, who she does sort of light housework, she's a great cook and everything. She gets, Susan says, hey, you're going to have trouble finding a job after this. They're totally going to think you're the murderer. How about you go and work for Timothy and Maud, the invalid brother? They need someone to do some sort of work for them.
Sure.
So she goes there and gets freaked out because a nun arrives collecting money at the house.
Nuns!
And it
Evil
sends her into a
nuns!
bit of a panic.
Okay. Did the nuns do it? Or it just turned out, no, they're just nuns. Nuns like to collect things.
The nuns are nothing.
They're just nuns. It's
another red herring.
Yeah. It turns out that they're always nuns. Always trying to get money. Those bloody nuns.
So yeah, it turns out George is in horrible financial straits because he's, dodgy. He may have taken some clients' money and invested it, so maybe some bad gambling, just lots of everything shady and
This
shifty.
is George, the generally unscrupulous lawyer that people don't like.
Yep. Timothy and Maud, they've just been badly off for a while. They have a house, but it is in awful condition.
Sure.
They don't have enough money to afford help for Timothy that they need,
Sure.
all that sort of thing. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone's just in crap situation. So all the money motives are still very much there. Poirot eventually gathers them all up to the mansion, where they start having a conversation just for the fun of it about, how when you look in a mirror and you see yourself, that's not actually what other people see when they look at you? Isn't that funny?
Why are you talking about this, Poirot?
Oh, Poirot wasn't talking about it. He's pretending he can't speak English.
Oh, who's talking about it?
The family.
Oh.
All the family just happened to start talking about this. Isn't that crazy, right?
Yeah, that's weird.
And then that night, that is when Mrs. Leo, Helen, realizes, oh, I had a weird feeling when back at the will reading. Just something didn't seem right, and I haven't been able to figure out what it was.
The will was written backwards.
I've just realized after this conversation what it was that struck me. But it's impossible, isn't it? And then she
it was his
decides...
left-right doppelganger.
She doesn't talk to Poirot about this, because of course not. Instead, she calls the lawyer bright and early in the morning.
She's about to say it, and she gets wonked on the head by a nun.
She gets wonked on the head by some mysterious person.
This secret better be worth these killings. Someone just keeps... And why would whoever kills her know that she's had a realization overnight and to kill her in the morning? Like, that doesn't make it...
Because she happened to be listening to a phone call.
At least, what's her name? At least Carla? Kiarla? What's her name? It's not Carla, is
What are we talking about?
The dead young sister.
Cora.
At least Cora was like, I know something, but I won't say it yet, and then got killed. But to be like...
She wasn't even doing that. She would have. She got bullied by her family into shutting up.
Yeah, but so she said, I know this, and she didn't say it out loud. And someone killed her before she could say it out loud.
She's the by far youngest autistic sibling being told, you are being socially inappropriate right now, shut up.
But how's the killer go, wait a minute, we discussed mirrors. She's going to realize overnight that the mirror conversation means that something was off. So she's going to call a person in the morning. I better get there now and kill her from behind before she said... How do you know that she knows anything?
Yeah.
That timing is only... It doesn't make any sense other than dramatic.
All right, now, just for fun...
Which is a bother.
Do you remember George, Susan's husband that nobody likes, the pharmacist assistant?
Yes.
He spent time in a sanatorium because...
Sanitarium? No, is that just wheat bix?
Sanitarium's a brand.
Sanatorium?
Yes.
Okay.
An asylum. As it was. And it seemed that one time there was a customer who at the pharmacy she was just a real cow to him, and he gave her some medicine poorly, some sort of wrong medicine. And
bad. That's bad form.
It seemed like it was a complete accident, but then afterwards he started confessing to it and saying, no, I just hated her. I did it on purpose. I need help. I need retribution for this. And then he actually comes up to Poirot and does exactly the same thing. He says, it was me. I murdered Richard. There are chemicals that I have access to that could murder him without a trace. It was me. Please put me away before I hurt anyone else.
That's probably wrong.
Yeah, so it turns out he just has a massive, really pathological guilt complex.
So he just loves to admit to murders.
He is also...
That's his role. He loves admitting murder.
He also does not love his wife. So it's a little bit trying to get away from his wife and avoid the issue of hating his marriage.
Oh, come on, that sucks.
It's not very conscious. That's definitely
dumb, though.
It's definitely not a normal health situation.
Sure,
he's got some curiosities.
What an odd thing
but
to
yep,
add.
this is an element of the book that.
And this is a guy who just keeps admitting to doing murders he didn't do because he hates his wife. Stick that in my murder mystery.
All right, shall I?
I was trying to think just then what we watched recently in which a person giving bad medication out was a plot point.
Desperate Housewives.
It was Desperate Housewives.
So I might as well skip straight to the end at this point. Do you have any? Well, let me go with some questions.
Okay.
You can just start asking questions.
Let's think.
And I will answer them for you.
So let me recount. Richard died. His son was dead. His fortune was split up. Someone at the funeral said he was murdered, right? Because of what he said, and then didn't say anything. Got axe killed.
Oh, we also find out that he did when he went to visit Cora. Like we said, he went to visit all of his family. Ms. Gilchrist overheard him having a conversation with Cora, and they haven't spoken. Those two haven't spoken in 20 years or whatever. About he thinks that someone's poisoning him.
Okay, and someone's admitted to having poisoned him, but we're discounting that because he just loves to admit to poisoning people.
Yes.
Weird character. Cora's possible lesbian lover or just housemate has also had someone try and kill her with cake.
Yes.
Because they assume that she knows what Cora knows.
Correct.
Then another woman who had a nighttime revelation has also been killed.
No, she actually just, she will recover.
She's just been wonked on the head.
Yeah, and they treated it, that was the thing, they treated it as super serious, said she may never wake up. She is essentially in a coma. No, this was Poirot lying to make the killer think that they'd succeeded.
Sure. And then she, the lady who was wonked on the head, her husband is the one who loves admitting to murders and hates.
No. That
was Susan and Gregory, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Susan wasn't the one who got wonked on the head.
Oh.
Helen was the one who got wonked on the head.
Mrs. Lee.
The one that everyone liked.
Yeah, okay. I don't know, maybe it was Susan.
Just start asking me some questions. I'm not saying try to make a guess.
Okay, why don't they believe the pharmacist for poisoning people?
Because they just don't see, like, that happens right near the end. It doesn't really come up. It's like 5 seconds before the actual denouement.
Weird. That's so weird. Okay. Is any art missing from Cora's house?
No.
Okay, so art guy didn't come and actually just try and steal the art and kill the other person who. What's up with this mirror thing? Was it actually Richard who was dead? So, is he dead, or was it his...
Richard is the one who is dead.
Oh, well, yeah, but she was like, oh no, something was the wrong way round at the funeral.
I assumed that something along these sorts of lines was true, that it was a realizing of this is a family. A lot of them probably look alike. In fact, early on in the book, the first time we meet Timothy, the character does say they are struck by how similar the two brothers look.
Yeah, so is someone's child not who we think their child is? Is Cora actually Richard's child?
I didn't think about anything along those lines. I can tell you what my thoughts were at this point. Someone was worried that they were being poisoned. There were lots of mentions of he, and we have two brothers who look alike that Cora hasn't seen in 20 years.
Oh, she got her brothers confused?
I thought that this was all about Timothy, really, and he was worried because everyone thinks that he's faking it because sometimes he's fine.
But he's being poisoned.
Especially, like, if his wife isn't around to dote on him, he can do things on his own, it turns out. I suspected his wife
poisoning him. Yeah, that makes sense.
Completely where my head was at.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that maybe Helen sort of looked in the mirrors and went, oh, actually, there's something a little bit like mirror image off about Timothy and Richard.
They just look so similar.
Something like that. But he, of course, wasn't even there. So who knows what that was. But this was where my head was at. That was the direction I was suspicious of.
But irrelevant?
Completely irrelevant.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I can tell you exactly what she saw.
I think Susan did it.
What she saw was, so Cora, being the quirky person that she is, and there's nothing more to it than that, sometimes when she talks, she tilts her head.
But she tilted it the wrong way?
She tilted it the wrong way.
What does that mean? Nothing? What are we going to get from a woman who tilts her head to the right, tilted it to the left? She was in a mirror. She has one tilt for being confused and one tilt for killing people.
What it tells you...
A lying tilt.
...is that none of these people had seen Cora in 20 years.
Oh, so it wasn't
Cora.
It was
her roommate, lady, lesbian, lover, companion, all along.
Okay.
Who disguised herself that day, had drugged the real Cora so that she slept all day through the funeral and, like, wouldn't wake up for 2 days. Didn't kill her at that point, just drugged her for a while to kill her later.
And then turned up to a funeral just to say, maybe this was a murder.
Just to make it look like there were connected killings.
And then kill Cora because she just hates Cora.
And then take arsenic herself to make it look like she was being targeted as well.
Any reason she wanted to kill Cora?
You are totally right to focus on the art thing. One of the things that she'd bought was a secret Vermeer.
Yeah, and I basically predicted
actually, when the art dude turned, she knew that the art dude was going to turn up at some point in the near future, so it all had to be orchestrated like this good thing that the uncle actually died or the brother actually died.
So it was basically making a fake mystery to make it reasonable to kill. Didn't I suggest that at the start?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
No, it's great. Like I said, I definitely wouldn't take these things as assumptions. At no point in this story did I believe that Richard had been murdered.
So yeah, a fake say, I've got a secret, but I won't tell anybody. No one knows that. So basically, a lot of this is built on the fact that nobody can recognize their sister.
Correct. Which I'm never a fan of.
No, because usually you can recognize your sister.
You'd think.
And does anyone ever point out the whole time that she and Miss Gillespie look almost identical?
No, they don't.
Does no one see the body and go, wait a minute, that's not the person who was at the funeral?
Apparently nobody sees the body, I guess.
How weird. I mean, yeah.
There is no comment on them looking alike. There is a comment of, oh, wow, I wouldn't have picked you from your 20-year-old self. Like, you look different now that you're 49.
Yeah,
but it wasn't enough to me.
It's one of these things that just like, I see cousins who I haven't seen for 20 years, and I didn't see very much when I was, 20 years ago. Like, I would have seen them at Christmas once a year. And I see them and I'm like, that's my cousin. I would recognize them on the street. I would notice it. And if they turned up to a family event and was like, I'm me, I feel like maybe someone would notice.
Face blindness is a characteristic of this entire family and all of their related friends and their lawyer and stuff like that because, they just say, oh, she was wearing the same sort of clothes. And Cora probably talked about her childhood a lot, so she referenced one or two things from when they were growing up, and that was enough to convince everyone. Also, everyone's old. We can't forget that.
It's just such a silly. I mean, look, I like the idea of the make it seem like you have a secret so that you can kill a person. I think that's kind of fun. It's that, and like, I don't think this was a good version of it, but the idea of like staging the idea of a secret to kill someone for unrelated reasons is a nice idea.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like the crux of that as the feeling, but then it also means that you need some time to experience the other motive or the other. And okay, it was about art, but like, just buy the art and then leave. Just leave with the art one day. I don't know.
Yeah, and the reason that she wanted the money so badly was because after the war, she had a tea shop that she ran, and then after the war happened, she ran out of money and couldn't keep it running, and she wants a tea shop again.
Okay. I mean, look, it's all about money, I guess.
Yeah. And in general, like I said, I felt like it was picked out of a hat.
Yeah.
Now,
yes, it could have been a whole bunch of other things.
I will say, Billy, we never mentioned the flowers.
Oh, yeah. What's up with the flowers? Why are they relevant? Aren't they just flowers? Isn't that just an illustration of a funeral?
Well, that might be paint on them.
Sure.
And look, I will say the Vermeer that was there, why didn't the art guy recognize it as a Vermeer? She hastily sketched over it and painted over it super quickly.
That's weird.
So that it wouldn't get seen. And then I guess could fix it up later by getting rid of one layer of paint. I'm not sure. I don't know how paints work.
Well, you often finish a painting. Maybe you varnish over it. So if you paint over the varnish, you can remove the paint without removing the varnish.
I don't know enough about classical paint for that.
Yeah.
But as for the flowers, so they have all gone back to the mansion where the denouement happens under the guise of picking out which pieces of furniture they each want to take before the house gets sold off.
Okay.
And there's a little malachite table that a couple of them want. And
sounds good.
Ms. Gilchrist is there because she's too scared to stay in a house on her own, so she has to come up with them, of course. Is trying to appease everyone, saying, oh, yes, you've got a good point. It would look good in your place. Oh, yes, that's very nice. It would look good. And at one point, one of them says, oh, yeah, and, the wax flowers. I want those too. And Miss Gilchrist says, oh, good point. The wax flowers do look really good on that malachite table. And what we're supposed to know, which I don't believe took place in the book, the vase holding those wax flowers on the malachite table was broken the day before or thereabouts.
Okay.
Therefore, she had to have seen them on the malachite table at an earlier date, therefore she's been in this house before.
Oh.
And that is the flowers. That's what got the cover.
That's so weird. Like, I get it. I get the idea. You say a thing that you can't see now that you would only have seen if you'd been there before. I get that. Like, that is a bit. That's a murder mystery bit.
The nuns were irrelevant. The hypochondria was irrelevant. The person with the guilt complex was irrelevant. The actors cheating and being pregnant was, like, it's all...
It's not even, like, putting in irrelevant things isn't even a huge problem, but the fact that they just get resolved by, oh, yeah, don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something, is not fun. It's not, I think irrelevance is a necessary part.
Up until the very end of the book, it feels like any of them could have been the solution.
Yes.
And therefore they were only dismissed because it was decided that Gilchrist was the killer instead of George or Maud. And it really felt random and I was not happy.
Yes, it felt like you could have made any of them relevant, right? Wait a minute, she's seen the flowers before, that's the gotcha moment, is exactly as much a gotcha moment as, wait a minute, that place is near the doctor, you must have been pregnant. It's exactly the same quality of gotcha moment that one of them goes, well, I guess that's not relevant. And the other one is, I guess that's the most relevant thing ever. You know, why not be... She's been in this house before. Yeah, but she was only here to talk to someone about getting more money because of the tea shop thing, and they said no, and that was fine.
There's also an ongoing thing of Rosamund, the actor niece, also having some traits of Cora, so clearly she's inherited the family autism as well. So she occasionally just blurts out things that people shouldn't say regarding the murder, like saying, oh no, like, I know who did it, and things like that. Nothing ever comes of that.
Oh,
she thinks it's George.
Well, George thinks it's George. He admits to the murder.
No, that's Greg.
Oh, sorry, that's Greg, not George. Yep. Sorry.
I know, I got confused between them regularly.
Yeah, like, it's fine.
It was, like I said, it was not as bad as The Clocks.
No, The Clocks was very weird.
The ending made me unhappy.
Like, I understand how, like, this has all the elements that do make a good mystery, but it feels like they've been handled poorly. Not given the appropriate weight at the appropriate times.
No, it felt like just right. I don't know. Knowing what elements were relevant, it feels like so much of the book was written for the sake of getting some words. I don't know. Learning more about this family of stuff that is not only relevant, but really misleading in non-fun ways.
Well, and again, are we to believe that Ms. Gillespie...
Gilchrist.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Gilchrist...
You're getting your Australian cricketers confused.
Realized that she had tilted her head the wrong way and knew that Mrs. Lee was going to understand that too, and she was the only one who would have possibly noticed it. So ran to her house in the morning while she was on the phone, knowing she would be...
They were all in the same house.
Okay, so she could whack her on the head.
But yeah, it seems like she just listened on phones and... Let me see if I can possibly find...
Did no one, like, meet her and go, oh, don't we know you? Didn't we see you? Weren't you at the funeral? Don't you look exactly like Cora does because we saw you a few days ago and you look exactly like Cora? Hey, is it weird that you are an exact replica of our sister because we saw you and thought you were our sister 2 days ago?
She was wearing different clothes, maybe.
That's so weird. You can't put all those characters in a house together.
Might have styled her hair in a way that was more expected of a different person.
Like, what is her plan? I'm just going to sit in a room with all these people and just hope that none of them notice that I look exactly like what they think their sister looks like because I taught them the other day that this is what their sister looks like because I turned up as their sister.
I will tell you exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
I will tell you the exact wording of the phone call that made her go, oh no, I have to strike this woman on the head.
Yeah, okay, sure, go.
Yes, I'm terribly sorry to get you out of bed like this, but you did tell me once to ring you up at once if I remembered what it was that struck me as having been wrong somehow on the day of the funeral when Cora electrified us all by suggesting that Richard had been murdered. He says, oh, you have remembered. Yes, but it doesn't make sense. Well, you must allow me to be the judge of that. Was it something you noticed about one of the people? Yes, tell me. It seems absurd, but I'm quite sure of it. It came to me when I was looking at myself in the glass last night. Oh!
That doesn't make it, she even referred to Cora as Cora. So she's not about to say Cora wasn't there. That's a weird time to think, I bet it. But again, If you're so concerned that a person calling with any vague feeling of unease is enough to make you run to action and knock them in the head and knock them out, what are you doing hanging out with these people? What are you doing being nearby? And again, why did nobody notice that why did nobody even comment not, oh, are you our sister? But you're like, oh my gosh, so weird that you look exactly like our sister.
Definitely didn't
That's
happen.
ridiculous.
I think it's the initial premise of this murder that I still struggle with. It's great, she's got a Vermeer. She's going to get a lot of money. I sort of live with sort of work for her. Somehow this is bad for me. I really want my tea shop. I should get that Vermeer because I like art more than her.
And how am I going to get the Vermeer?
I know. Her brother is going to die in a couple of days, maybe, or her brother either has just died or will die, I guess.
And also trusting.
Therefore, I'm going to drug her so she cannot attend his funeral, so that I can attend his funeral and pretend to be her because I know she hasn't seen her family except for the dead guy in a long time. They won't recognize me. I'll suggest that the man was murdered so that when I murder her...
And then they'll shut me up and no one will press me for the information that I've got. No one in the room will say, sorry, why do you think that he was murdered? Please, elaborate. I'm sure they'll tell me to shut up. Cross my fingers.
I will also note that they have a recurring thing saying, Cora, with her funny quirks the way she is, does not lie or show off. She tells uncomfortable truths. So you know what? If she says that Richard was murdered, maybe there's something to it and we should actually be thinking about it. It's not like they actually dismiss the idea of it either.
That's so weird. Because what was she going to do if they'd said, please go on?
Anything. It was just the wildest
please go on.
Concoction of a plan.
Sister with new face and voice and size and every element. Please, tell us what you think. To solve it,
it's not
you
a
have
good
to come
murder.
up with a plan
it was
that
a
is
terrible,
so
terrible
ridiculous
murder.
that you would immediately go, okay, great, well, that's not the solution.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not so much fun. That plan doesn't hold up to kind of any suspicion.
No.
You know what? I reckon it was the guy who said I did it. I reckon it was the guy who said I poisoned him.
I do find it very interesting. I feel like ones that are very family-based, Agatha Christie often, not always, but often has a reluctance to make it one of the family members who did it. I won't name names for which ones do and don't follow that pattern, but more often than not, I feel like I've been disappointed by that.
Yeah, that's funny. Why don't you think that's too obvious? And it should be the strange live-in partner.
She just doesn't want a family to be broken up.
Maybe. Too sad.
That's sort of what it feels like.
Yeah, well,
this one felt too.
I get why that bothered you. Because, and again, especially when you consider it from the context of, can we make this a playable game? If the answer is, oh yeah, no, you're never going to get it. If you try and talk it through, you're going to convince yourself it's not true. So don't worry about it. Just say what the evidence leads to, but not that evidence. And you can't really distinguish between what evidence is relevant or not.
And note the questions.
I'll just tell you when you're right.
You were interested in the art, but note the questions that you asked. Was any of the art missing? And I had to truthfully say no.
No.
Things like that.
Her whole murder was to steal a Vermeer that she didn't take.
Oh, God. The actual side plot of figuring that out was also stupid. You know, they figured that out.
Mm-hmm.
So she also, Cora, did some sketches and paintings of her own. And there were some from a holiday that they'd taken recently, just some little pontoon somewhere or whatever.
Sure.
Susan came in and went, yeah, that's kind of a nice one, but it looks exactly like a postcard. And Ms. Gilchrist said, no, she always painted from scratch, like out in nature. And Susan says, yeah, that's what she said, but that's full of crap. I found literally the postcard in this house, and that pontoon wasn't there anymore when she would have gone there. It had fallen down or something. So the postcard is the only evidence that there ever was a pontoon there.
Which is already the same bit that the flowers are later.
Yeah.
That's a double beat.
But that's because it turns out, remember I said that Gilchrist painted over the Vermeer? It's because she'd just hastily drawn something and had drawn it from the reference. So it was totally true what she had said about Cora only painting from nature. And that was supposed to mean, if we assume that Ms. Gilchrist is telling the truth, then it means Cora only painted from nature, so she never would have painted that, so Gilchrist is the murderer.
I don't even understand what just happened. I don't understand. Also, wait, do we ever get told that Gilchrist is a famed art curator who can spot a Vermeer?
Her father was an art person.
Okay. Because she has to spot this so nicely that she's willing to kill for it.
Yes.
Imagine she kills her partner or her friend, takes it to a gallery, and they say, "Oh no, that's not a Vermeer. I know it looks like a Vermeer. It was a copy."
No, faint suggestions that she likes it.
I don't know.
But
that doesn't feel like enough. If I wanted to make it a mystery to solve, I would have it be that she has contacted an art person, and that's a piece of evidence that can help connect that idea in a way that you can figure this out. The art guy gets the door and says, "I'm here to pick up that Vermeer," and then dies, gets shot in the neck with an arrow. Who did it? Oh, it's that nun. She's running away with a bow.
But yeah.
I get why you didn't want to run it.
I was also thinking, like, oh, great. Richard turns up at Cora's door and Cora says, "Richard, I haven't seen you in 20 years. What if that had been Timothy?" And Timothy just went, "Yep, I'm Richard, all right."
Yeah.
Would have loved that. "I think I'm being poisoned." Great.
Also, do we know why Richmond did turn up at
I
her door?
think, he just seemed to be turning up to people to chat about various things to try to get a gauge on inheritance. And
oh, that's right, because he was talking to everybody, yeah.
Maybe Gilchrist just lied about everything that she overheard. Seems
yeah. God, it's so weird.
Which is fine if you only have one witness to something.
Yeah, you shouldn't trust that witness, especially if they're the murderer.
But
it's a silly murder. It's a very silly idea.
It wasn't.
Like, what did you do? What was her plan if she turns up and someone at the funeral is like, "Hi, you're not my sister. I know because I've met my sister before."
Yeah.
Given that we're sisters, or siblings at the very least, I know what she looks like.
It is true that none of her actual siblings were there.
Oh, that's true. How well can you recognize an aunt? Probably still pretty well.
The nieces and nephews hadn't interacted with her a crazy amount, so that was fine. But the sisters-in-law,
yeah, I don't know. It seems a bit silly.
And the household staff, but that's why we
were the old butler.
That's why we were emphasized exactly how old he was.
He's so old he can't see faces.
He's stupid.
Only tilted heads and hats.
That's why. Yeah, apparently she came into the house and said, "Oh, why it's
old butler.
Old Lanscombe. It's just like our childhood where we used to do this, this, and this."
Well, you passed the test.
Pretty much.
You are who you say you are.
Yeah.
That's an event only she would remember. You may enter. Do you think he was murdered, by the way?
So again, look, I'll rank this above the clocks, but it did not leave me feeling happy and satisfied and smart. It left me feeling sad.
All right. Well, now you've got it out of your system. Thank you, everybody, for letting Dani get that out of her system. And we'll see you soon with whatever the next thing we do is here. In the meantime, have you listened to Escape This Podcast? I'm assuming so, but maybe you haven't. Why don't you go check it out? Also,
there are mysteries in there.
It's a really fun show where we do murder. No, we don't do murder mysteries. That's this show. We do escape rooms. We make audio escape rooms, and we have guests come on and solve them.
And all the rooms have stories to them.
They all have stories. They're all narrative and puzzly adventures that you can go and enjoy right now if you haven't before. Hey, have you signed up to the Patreon to get the bonus episodes for when a Solve This Murder comes out? Have you checked out all the other content there? There's a lot of stuff on that Patreon.
Much.
So much. You can go and check it all out.
If your ears are bored and you need just noise to be happening at you.
There's so much.
So much noise there.
You want to hear more mysteries? Why don't you go and check out all of our 2-minute mystery solutions?
If all of the puzzling is overwhelming and you can't listen to puzzlies and mysteroos when doing other things, that's what our Charmed bonus podcast on the Patreon is for.
Donors. I'm so sorry. But you can be a $10 donor and listen to us talk about Charmed. If you like this, us recapping a thing, Charmed one's probably, we have more fun with them, so it doesn't have the, oh gosh. So it's even more enjoyable than what we just did. So go and check all that out. And also, other than that, just have fun with your life. Just be happy. And we'll see you later when we have another mystery or another bonus episode. But ideally, coming back soon.
I hope the next one isn't another complain one. I really do. I don't want to do this.
We'll be back soon.
I don't like complaining.
Dani loves complaining. All right, bye everybody.